Tampa Sports Enthusiast started us off. He says Florida, they're going to start the season undefeated. Gators at 4-0, baby. And if you're betting the over on that over-under 4.5 win total for the Gators, then you're like, okay, I like that. I like that going into October with only one more to capture for the good folks in Gainesville. The schedule for them, if they were to go 4-0, that would be very impressive because they got Miami, they got Samford, not to be confused with the school out there in Palo Alto, Samford from Alabama, Texas A&M, and they're at Mississippi State. So I like the fact that they have 3 of those first 4 at home. If they were to start 4-0, that would potentially be 2 ranked wins, depending on what Texas A&M is when they end up playing them. But let's be real, the vibes would be incredible in Gainesville because there's been so much negative talk around Billy Napier and this roster and what they're not going to accomplish in the schedule. And it's like if they start 4-0, that Billy Napier hot seat talk is on hold. That talk around Florida's roster and what they can't accomplish, that's on hold. Florida Gator fans, we've had a lot of y'all join the party and subscribe here over the course of the last few months. If you have not yet joined the party, you have not yet subscribed, we'd love to have you all a part of this. I think your Gators are going to be better than the overwhelming national opinion is right now, that over under 4.5 win total. We're taking the over. Going to talk a lot about your Gators when they do it, so make sure you're locked in here. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a minute of the college football and Florida Gator coverage we have on deck for you. Now, if they do go 4-0, and they are able to, be sitting at that spot heading into October, what I think it would mean from a gameplay standpoint is the offense had real deal progress. And we've been high on Graham Mertz here for a while now. Talked to him at SEC Media Days. That only made us more excited about what he's going to be in 2024. Love what they did through the portal. I love what they have in that backfield if they're healthy. I think they're maybe a little bit more underrated than some folks like to give credit for. To me, it just means the offense probably did what they need to do. Because if you're going to beat Miami in that first game of the season, I get it now. The swamp will be rocking. That'll probably help the defense out, and you would hope throw Cam Ward out of rhythm a little bit. But I think that you will have to score to beat Miami. I don't think you win like a 17-10 kind of game if you're going to beat the Canes. I think they're going to score more than that. Same thing with A&M. Will A&M score at the same clip that Miami will? Remains to be seen. I think Connor Wegman's a really freaking good quarterback. But that's going to be a physical outfit defensively for Texas A&M. That's a team that is going to be a really good matchup for you. And so if you score on them and you're able to beat them that way, that would speak volumes to what Graham Mertz did over the offseason, would speak volumes to the way they elevated the skill positions for him, grabbing Shamir Dike from Wisconsin, which is his guy, grabbing Elijah Badger through the portal, who was one of the best receivers in the Pac-12 last season, or the past 2 years, rather. That'd be big. That'd be very, very big. Again, the defense, since so many of those games are at home to start the year, I think you probably hold your opinion of them a little bit loosely because we know playing offense in the swamp and playing offense on the road, or excuse me, not on the road, but having to play offense, I'll rephrase that. Playing defense in the swamp, if you're Florida, and playing defense on the road, bit of a different task. So, hold your opinion loosely there. But I think the most impactful part of this, if Florida does start the year 4-0, and full transparency, I think they will, that speaks volumes to what their trajectory is in 2024. When you win early, especially when there's so much being said about you externally going into the year, the temperature that sets for your team, the belief, the impact, the swag that builds is okay, hey, we can really do some damage here. Because it's impossible to not hear all the things that guys like me are saying into a microphone about what Florida will or won't be. You can say you block out the noise, but in social media today, everybody hears different tidbits of what's happening in the opinion space. At the very least, I'm sure they're aware of their over-under win total, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. The confidence they would build by starting 4-0 makes them dangerous because there's a difference, I think, in knowing and believing from fall camp and, doing 11 on 11 and good on good and having, good things to show yourself there on tape, and then actually going out and doing it against a Texas A&M, against a Miami. Heck, going on the road and beating a Mississippi State. As much as you think you're overmatching them, still going into Starkville, playing an offense like Jeff Lebby that's going to put pressure on you and try and get you misaligned, I don't think that's one to just look past either. So at the end of the day, man, when you talk about what Florida will be long-term, if they start out 4-0 in 2024, You look at the games in November, and I don't know that you feel like you are a superior roster at any point in time, but at the very least, man, I will say this. LSU, Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia, Florida State, they would much rather play a Florida team that starts 2-2, that has their ego a little bruised, and maybe there's some fragmentation of sorts when it comes to beliefs and buy-in, than a 4-0 team that says we got some swagger, we got some confidence, and not just because we feel that way about ourselves, because we've proven it now on the field against good freaking teams in Miami and A&M to start the year. So will Florida start 4-0? I think so. I'm with Tampa sports enthusiasts here, and what happens after that remains to be seen. But to start fast, to build belief, that matters, and that'd be crucial for Florida as they try and get some mojo here early in year 3 of the Billy Napier era. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.